Welcome to NEXTGames video on how to solo the high-tier mission battlefield Ark Angel Hume on difficult. Many of Ark Angel Hume's weapon skills take multiple shadows and will consistently hit for 2500 damage or more, so there is no room for error when using this difficulty. You will want to practice these techniques on normal difficulty first to get comfortable with things, where he only hits for about half the amount of damage that I'll be quoting in this video. Before we show an example of the fight, let's go over the strategies. Ark Angel Hume is a warrior and a ninja. This means he will repeatedly use Mighty Strikes throughout the fight. When Mighty Strikes is active, his normal melee swings will hit for 1000 to 1500 damage. He also uses Brazen Rush throughout the fight, making it so at times his rate of double attack is 100%. He normally strips 2 shadows per attack round, but can strip 3 or even 4 shadows per round when this Brazen Rush ability is up. You must be ready for this, as if he uses a weapon skill right after he sneaks in a 4-hit attack round, you will not survive the weapon skill. Now let's talk about the weapon skills he has access to. The first one is Cross Reaver, and it's the one he probably favors the most. It is a conal attack that takes up to 2 of your shadows, so you want to make sure that you never have any of your trust behind you. If either of the 2 hits of the weapon skill land on you, it will inflict a 5-second stun and slow upon you. Sadly, because of the nature of this fight, and because he's stripping your shadows away so quickly, if you get slow inflicted upon you and have to cast while that slow is on you, your fight is all but over, as your recast timer will not be up by the time it comes around for you to recast your shadows again. Therefore, it is critical you never let a Cross Reaver weapon skill land on you during this fight. The next weapon skill we'll talk about is Circle Blade. This is an AoE weapon skill that will strip 2 shadows and additionally hit any of your nearby trusts for a few hundred damage. The main risk from Circle Blade is if he uses it while Mighty Strikes is up, he can hit your trust for upwards of 3000 damage. Due to this, you want to make sure that your trusts are as far away from you as possible during this entire fight. The next weapon skill we'll talk about is Swift Blade. This is a 3-hit weapon skill that will take 3 of your shadows almost every time. If you have less than 3 shadows, then 1, 2, or 3 of these hits will land on you. If he has Mighty Strikes up, each hit will hit you for approximately 2500 damage. Chat du Sig is another weapon skill he has access to that he uses far less frequently than Swift Blade, but the result is just the same in that if any of the 3 hits land on you, they will do about 2500 damage each while Mighty Strikes is up. Due to all of these high damage weapon skills that he uses, you want to make sure that you have Migawari, Yonin, and at least 3 shadows up at all times. You also want to make sure that you keep blind, slow, and TP down on Ark Angel Hume at all times, or as much as you can get it to not resist. Lastly, you have to ensure that you have Migawari active the entire time that he is under 10%. Sometime under 10% health, he will use Majin Galkri and inflict massive damage upon you and your entire party. For trust, this usually means somewhere from 1500 to 3000 damage. For you, this usually means anywhere from 1500 up to 5000 damage. Therefore, it's very important that you have Majin Galkri up to negate all of this damage and finish the fight. Now let's go ahead and see what one of these fights looks like on the difficulty. I'm using my usual set of followers, Yoran for cures and to remove enfeebles from me quickly, Korumoru for haste and extra cures, Olmia for march, Shantoto 2 for skill chains and magic burst, and lastly Seth continually replenishes hit points, magic points, and TP to the party. You will want to open with Yonin, Provoke, Blind, Slow, and TP down. Let's see how this fight goes. Seth there is a little bit too close to us, and I didn't notice in time and pull Ark Angel Hume away from him. So sadly, now that he has Mighty Strikes up and uses a Circle Blade, this is the result. Here's his use of my Jingalkri. You'll see that it actually does 0 damage to me. That means that my Migawari did its job and it negated all the damage because it was going to do so much that it quite possibly could have killed me. I will say if you're having difficulty with this fight, go ahead and try it in Evasion Gear as opposed to DD Gear. The fight will take longer, but you will be able to keep your shadows up for an extra few seconds. Go ahead and put the drops up here on the screen. Everyone have a great week.